Hi Cancer, welcome to your mid-month reading. Let's see what we have for you guys for the final half of May. Mid-month messages for Cancer for May. Okay, so we have Justice. Could be dealing with a Libra person, or you could be dealing with a legal situation, someone within the legal occupation, government issues, council issues, wills, testaments. Let's see. Messages for Cancer, messages for Cancer. This messages for the sign of Cancer for the final part of May 2018. Cancer, final part of May 2018. 15th to the 31st of May 2018. Okay. Oops. Yep. Feeling good about that one. Let's see. Cancer. Oh, the Knight of Cups. Okay. Four of Swords and the Tower. Underneath we have Strength. Well, Cancer, we seem to have, we can have a couple of possibilities here in terms of your, because this is just general, but there seems to be either a situation that could be, I feel like some of you may be hearing back from a court case, that possibly is surrounding a work situation where you had to be taken out of work early. Maybe you were injured, with the Four of Swords here in the Tower. You may have been injured in the workplace. I feel like this could only be for possibly a few of you. But I'm also feeling like there was a situation in your romantic life or personal life that seemed very unfair. A lot of the time with Justice, it can be an imbalance in a situation rather than an actual balance. So it may have been a relationship that pushed you to tipping point. It may have been a romantic relationship or a friendship. It could also be family. With the Knight of Cups, it's usually a romantic message or a proposal. And with the Four of Swords in the Tower, it's almost like taking time out or taking a step back from this area of your life. There could have been a relationship that you, I think, intuitively knew was out of balance. You weren't totally in sync, and it was built on something shaky. I'm just going to go ahead and draw a couple more cards here because I don't like leaving a reading on the Tower. Page of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords. Okay, so I do feel like some of you are dealing with a Libra person. Cancer. Potentially some of you could be dealing with an earth sign as well, but fundamentally we kind of have all elements in any tarot reading, so it can be anybody, but it could be someone that has a very sharp mind or a very sharp tongue. Someone that has either got a tremendous ability to communicate away with words, or it could be somebody that actually is very cutting, that uses their, it's like they use words to hurt you or wound you. I'm feeling a little bit like there was a very intense conversation or something was said by somebody you care very deeply about that you're finding hard to move past. It's almost a little bit like someone may have said something that you can't really forgive them for, or they told you something like a truth came to light that maybe you weren't entirely comfortable with. It may have been that a truth came to light that you found very hard to deal with, and you're sort of struggling to communicate with this person. I almost feel a little bit like you're turning your back on them. It could be an earth sign that you're turning your back on, because the Page of Pentacles can be a Taurus, Capricorn, or a Virgo. And it could be somebody younger than you with the Page, but it could just be someone who has a bit more of an immature attitude. Sometimes Pages can be more that perspective on things. You may also be dealing with the Strength card here. We could have Leo influences, but this could also signify, with the number 8 here, the month of August. Like you might get a message through between now and August. Some of you may have had plans to travel that fell through, and some of you may have had work opportunities that fell through, and you're trying to pick yourself back up and find something else. It's almost like with the Tower card here, something collapses, false expectations or something that was shaky to begin with just finally collapses, and then a new offer comes through straight away. It doesn't look like there's going to be a period of downtime afterwards. It actually looks like something falls apart and straight away you're back in there with something new. And I feel like this could be work related. I feel like this could be an offer of a job. For me, pages sometimes are emails coming through, letters coming through, promises of financial gain, promises of financial opportunity. And with the Queen of Swords, it's like using your it's like survival of the wittest, using your wit to get forward, using your mental sharpness to get forward. I feel like you're getting a lot of mental clarity from a situation that had to fall apart to be replaced by something better. I do think for some of you it's romantic, and for some of you it's work related. Possibly some of you it's both. But it almost feels a little bit to me like those of you that are dealing with a legal situation, there may have been false promises made in terms of an outcome that you thought was settled, and then it wasn't, and then it was disappointing, and you're sort of trying to use the mental strength you have to come forward in this. But I do see good news coming through after this falls apart. Now with the Tower card, a lot of the time the Tower is that energy that just, it feels a little bit uncomfortable, but it also feels very much like a relief. When I see the Tower card for people, it's more of a relief. It's more, this isn't something that's sustainable, and it's something that in the long run would be very hard to hold together, and you would spend more time trying to hold it together and suffering grief because of it than just letting it fall apart. If you just let it fall apart, everything falls into place. This is sort of like everything falls apart but falls into place. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a positive twist on this Tower card, especially in terms of the communications you have with people in your life. Some of you might be dealing with tricky or rocky relationships with children, and I almost sense a little bit now the Queen of Swords, it came up in your May reading in general, like your May love reading, and that you were coming across as the Queen of Swords, and I think that's possibly still the truth. You're more of a Knight of Cups, Cancer. You're more of that emotional, sentimental energy where you can very much feel at home with your feelings, you're in touch with your feelings, and the Queen of Swords is somebody who acts very aloof and appears to be a lot more head over heart than heart over head. And then we have the Knight of Cups, which is heart over head. And I think with the Tower card in the middle here, you're kind of sick of dealing with disappointments in terms of the heart. Like you feel like you put so much energy into your relationships, and you don't feel like you're getting the equal amount back. And some of you are taking a break away from relationships in general and just having this like cleansing process. And the Tower card and the Four of Swords is a lot to do with healing after disappointments. Taking a step back, taking time out, and then reassessing your options. It's definitely making you stronger. With the Strength card here and the Queen of Swords, it's making you a much stronger person, Cancer, but it shouldn't make you hard. You can still be soft, you can still be fundamentally true to your element, but have a little bit more it's more like having your wits about you. You're ready for things. You're gonna it's sort of like the way diamonds are made. Like there's so much pressure on, what is it? I'm not entirely sure of the process, but the diamonds are made through pressure. So the more pressure you're going through and the more destruction, the more shiny and rare you're going to end up being. The more important you're going to be, the more special you're going to be. You're going to come out of this like a diamond. I mean, she definitely has diamonds in her crown. So the last part of May, the last 2 weeks of May, Cancer seems to be all about emerging from a situation that's been disappointing and unfair and emerging much stronger. I do feel like some of you are dealing with Libras. Or you may be dealing with an event that began in September, October, and you're finally done with it. Like, you're finally done with this situation. You're finally leaving this behind. It's a very cathartic energy, this Tower card. It's like something just has to fall apart to begin again, like to start over with the page and to emerge stronger. Some of you might actually have a lot of success in the world of writing, creating. I feel like some of you could be writing pieces, and submitting them. Like, there's sort of a publishing feel to this last part here. It's almost like some of you could be drawing on your experiences to create something. And there's financial gain in your creativity. There's a little bit more of like a career savvy vibe going on after this Tower card. It's like you become more career focused or more career driven or more money driven after a period of feeling a little bit emotionally wobbly. But it definitely looks like you're coming out like a diamond here. Pressure makes diamonds, Cancer. So I hope you enjoyed that reading, Cancer. I will see you back here for June readings. Thank you for all your likes and subscriptions, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!